Nora, come on, more drinks over here. Yeah, got a new car the other day. Yeah. Wow, Buick, the fastest new Buick games. Yeah. How's the chances? What's the verdict?
Can't last another 24 hours.
When's the old coop gonna go?
How about some pictures? That's moment stuff.
No!
That's the daughter. She's tougher than the old man.
How are you feeling, Sam?
Oh, this blasted thing is eating my guts away. You see that editorial in the Albany paper? That fellow won't take orders. Fire him.
I did.
That's my girl.
The White House called to ask about you.
Should call. If those Republicans hadn't knifed me, he wouldn't be in the White House. I'd be dying there. Well. Anything else?
Longstreet called.
Longstreet, that buzzard made me an offer for the papers. Willing to keep my name on the masthead, he says.
I'll keep your name there. You don't need Longstreet or anybody else.
Okay, I used to hate you for being a girl. I always wanted a son like me. You're bigger than any son. A woman's body with a man's brains. My brains. Use them. You'll make the White House, Kay, one way or another. The Republican Party owe us that. Don't forget it.
I won't forget it.
That's my girl. Men are weak, vain, idealistic. Can't stand pain. I can't stand the pain any longer. Women are the only realists until they get sentimental. Don't you ever get sentimental, Kay?
I never have.
Well, goodbye, girl. You're the chief from here in.
I'm gonna miss you, Sam.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Make those heads roll. Make those heads roll. Hey, gorgeous.
Well, if it isn't the poor man's head of hopper.
Hey, a new talent.
Better get in there before they get a new columnist.
Wait a minute, who's in there with the lion tamer?
Big secret. Came in through the fire escape.
Tailored?
Yeah.
Tailored politician?
Yep.
Tailored Republican politician.
What else?
Worried tailored Republican politician.
Oh, honey. Every politician's worried these days.
Jim Conover, announcement.
Right. Spike McManus is here.
Send him in.
Hello, boss. Hello, Jim. What's cooking?
You will be if one word of this meeting gets out.
Hey, boss, the freedom of the press.
And if you must grace your column with my name, it's Conover. Conover. You've spelled it Canover, can opener, everything but Conover.
Don't squawk. I haven't spelled it neither yet.
Let's skip the jokes.
Oh, Spike's just trying to show off in front of his boss, Miss Thorndyke.
Oh, he doesn't have to. I'm one of the many publishers who thinks that Spike is the best newspaper man in Washington. He knows more about what's going on in Washington than you and Bob Hannigan put together. That's why I'm willing to lend him to you for the campaign, but you have to give him back.
Campaign?
Jim, you know that the Republican convention this year can end in a deadlock. If that happens, you'll have the chance to put up your own man.
I don't know anything.
Oh, my uncle with two heads does.
Oh, Spike.
He tells me they're following usual Republican policy. The Tafts, Dewey, Stassens, and Vanderburgs may knock each other out of the running even before the convention.
Thus providing the perfect track for a dark horse. If we get a good candidate in 48, we have a fighting chance. And my papers will make a good sounding board. The party's best chance is to put up a candidate who's never been associated with politics.
Which leaves you, Mr. Conover, a fight manager looking for a good heavyweight who can punch.
Jim, I think I have your man.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
This is Kay Thorndyke, not everybody else.
I'm sorry, Kay, it's just that you have to show me. I'm from Missouri.
If you were from Missouri, you'd have a job in Washington.
Lay off, Spike.
All right, let's have it, Kay. Who's your man?
Item 1. Born in Nevada.
There's never been a Western president.
There are Americans out there, too. Item 2. Self-made. Sold newspapers. Worked his way through school. Item 3. Good war record. Partisan the Lafayette Escadrille in World War I. Decorated by 3 governments.
Ancient history.
Item 4. Started the 2x4 airplane factory and ran it into the biggest thing in aviation today. Look at me when I'm talking to you. The first industrialist to introduce labor management plant administration. He's never even been threatened with a strike. He'd have labor in one pocket and big business in the other. You interested?
No. What's the ratio of their look like?
Well, women have been crazy about him his whole life, if that's what you mean.
Well, that puts me out.
And the men?
He's part owner of a ball club.
Ever run for office?
Not even for dog catcher. He hates politicians.
And what's given him this presidential yen?
Oh, he doesn't have it yet. You're going to give that to him. On newsstands tomorrow.
Our planes have wings, but not our ideas?
You could make him the next president, Jim.
Okay, I am not terribly impressed. I never am by amateurs, but if you and Grant Matthews happen to be in Washington and you knock on my door to get out of the rain,
He's
we can...
right outside that door.
I'd like to pause at this moment and take a one-man gallop poll. Jim, what chance do you think Mr. Matthews here might have?
I don't know. Any native-born American over 35 has a chance.
Jim, Grant is starting a tour on Tuesday of his plans. Everywhere he's going, he's been invited to speak. Spike, you go along with him. You've been telling everyone for years how to run a campaign. Now let's see if you really can run one.
Oh, fine. I'll go over to the White House and tell the Trumans to start packing.
Yes, Nora, what is it?
Hi, sweetie pie. Oh,
Nora!
you know a man named Mac?
Mac who?
He just said to say Mac.
Now what?
Forgot to tell you, Senator Fosdick is here.
Senator Fosdick.
Last, what does that lame duck want now?
Lame. The last election broke both his wings.
Well, put him somewhere. He may get elected again sometime.
My room's the only one not full up.
He can have mine in 20 minutes.
Oh, no. Give him a drink. We'll get him settled later.
No drinks, boss. All gone. Have to be ordered. The gin is in the tub. Who is this woman? Run for your life. Give your wife.
That's a mighty big man, Jim.
Yes. Mighty big man with a mighty small chance.
Oh,
Okay. Do you mind if I, let my hair down?
it's your hair.
Look, with no Roosevelt to run against, it's green pastures again for Republicans. So I dig up enough money to rent this house for 2 years, and I think I'll anger myself back into politics. I am the best brain in this country, politically, outside of Jim Farley, and I'm now considering nursing a rank amateur like Grant Matthews, a mixed-up guy who sees ideals out of one eye and ambition out of the other, a guy who hates politicians. You just said so yourself. A guy with a busted-up home that will be poison at the polls.
Jim, wouldn't you like to be chairman of the Republican Party?
I'd give my right arm up to here to become chairman of the Say, are you making commitments for him?
Then put that hair back up. What's the matter with you? You getting old or something? Tuck that stomach in, chin up. Why do you think I brought Grant to you? Because I know that you are the best politician in the country.
Hey, a stubborn rank amateur.
Get that political brain of yours working. This is the year of the dark horse.
This guy worries me. The way he shoots off his mouth, he'll make enemies.
I'm sending Spike along for just that.
Spike! I need Spike like I need a hole in the head.
Jim, the Thorndike Press is in need of a new vice president, sort of a silent partner to advise on political matters, good salary, expense account that might include a 4-year lease on this house.
Win or lose?
Win or lose.
Oh, the dark horse is getting whiter, okay? Just so I don't stumble over things in the dark. What's your stake in all of this?
Oh, I want nothing.
No. People who want nothing worry me. The price isn't right. You know I know about your father and the Republican Party.
And you also know that they've given me the beautiful brush off ever since. On occasion, they've even seen fit to call the support of my newspapers the kiss of death.
Oh.
I thought if I could present the country and the Republican Party with the next president of the United States, it would give me more than a little pleasure to see certain heads roll.
Yeah, well, if they're the same heads I'm thinking
They
about.
are. Let's put this thing over, Jim. He's the ideal man. He has that rare combination of sincerity and drive that the common herd goes for. They think he's one of them. He thinks he's one of
But
them.
is he the kind of man we can handle? Will he play ball?
He's in love with me, Jim.
Oh, you can lead a dark horse to water with that love stuff, but can you make him drink?
A moment ago, you very shrewdly observed that Grant sees ideals out of one eye and ambition out of the other. You were dead right. But wait till the presidential bug really bites him. Wait till he sees the White House out of both eyes. Then he'll drink.
And so will I.
Spike, when does Mrs. Matthews get here?
Car's picking her up at the airport now.
Jim, it's all right to convince the world that there's nothing between Grant and me, but don't bother convincing Mrs. Matthews.
I thought that was the idea.
Don't be naive, Spike. I want her against me. I want her fighting for him. That way she'll do everything possible to get him elected.
Ah, women.
I hope it doesn't inconvenience you, my flying down tonight.
No, no, certainly. We are delighted. We're sorry you didn't get here sooner. Spike, this is Mrs. Matthews, Mr. McManus.
Oh, the writer. How do you do, Mr. McManus?
And you're very beautiful. How are you, Mrs. Matthews? May I take this?
Where's my husband got to?
Politician smoke-filled rooms got too much for him.
Oh, you're that, Mr. Conover.
I'm afraid I am. Grant went for a walk. He didn't expect you till tomorrow.
Oh, I sent him a wire. The fact is, I've been so excited about making this trip, I couldn't bear to wait. Is this my room?
No, this is Grant's room. I'm getting you another. Nora, you can leave the bags here for a minute. You're moving Senator Fosdick.
Again?
Well, put him in the south bedroom with Mr. Godfrey.
The south bedroom. Mr. Godfrey is the commissioner in the south bedroom.
The commissioner? Okay, well, he can have the pool table.
Oh, that's nonsense. I could stay here.
Here?
Well, it's all right. We're really married.
But I...
Unless the rest of the Senate's in here with Grant.
No, he's in sole possession.
Good, I'll stay here. After all, Senator Fosdick was an isolationist, and I think he should be isolated.
Shall I unpack for you, madam?
Don't bother. I'll take care of it myself. This is very pleasant. Now I can boast that I've been behind the scenes in Washington.
You certainly can. The Republican Party has been behind the scenes for 15 years, but that's over. We've won the Congress, and there'll be a change in the White House after this next election.
Has Mr. Truman heard about this?
I'm gonna like you.
Oh, I'm a good Republican. But the voters do control the lease on the White House, not just the Republican Party.
Your husband has been lecturing me along those same lines.
Oh, well, then I better change the subject. Grant can be outspoken, but not by anybody I know.
Can I get you a drink?
I'm a very inexpensive guest, Mr. Conover. I don't drink.
Oh, she'll make history in this house. Mrs. Matthews, I have a great admiration for your husband.
Oh, look at that. Oh, what did you say?
I say, I have a great admiration for your husband.
I'm many years ahead of you on that, Mr. Conover.
And the whole country will feel as we do after hearing the speeches he's going to make on this trip.
Speeches? Is he going to make speeches?
Yes, in several places.
Oh dear, I should have packed my earmuffs. Oh, I didn't mean that the way it sounded. Grant makes a very good speech. But public appearances for me, would it be considered bad form if I just stayed quietly at the hotel and listened to him over the radio?
Oh, I'm afraid it would. It would defeat the whole purpose.
Purpose? What purpose?
Well, for a man who may become a political figure, people like to see his wife, like to see what she looks like. And most important of all, they like to see the two of them together.
I see. That explains Grant's inviting me to take this trip with him.
No. Grant wants you to go along. These special appearances, they're my idea. It's an old politician's habit of cashing in on an opportunity.
It all fits a little too neatly, Mr. Conover. I don't know whether you know, perhaps you do, that Grant and I have not been very close recently.
Wouldn't you prefer to create a contrasting opinion?
So you do know. Let's be open about this, Mr. Conover. These public appearances that Grant and I are going to make, were they designed to kill off any rumors about my husband and Kay Thorndike?
There's that kind of talk about every important
And
man.
if there are any rumors about your husband, this would be a good time to kill them.
Oh, no,
You see the-
please. May I use your phone?
Certainly, on the night table.
Thank you. I'd like to get back to New York tonight, if I can. Airport.
Executive 2345.
Thank you.
Mrs. Matthews, I think that any man who has the chance to become President of the United States deserves that chance.
President of the United States?
Yes. Don't you think he'd make a good president?
Yes, I do. A fine president.
Well, then you can see how this goes beyond political consideration. You can't just think of this in terms of you and Grant.
And Kay Thorndyke.
And Kay Thorndyke. I know you will go along with this. You are a good citizen.
Right now, Mr. Conover, I do not feel like a good citizen. I feel like a woman.
All right. As a woman, then.
As a woman, no. I resent being used. This evening has been quite a kick in the teeth to me, Mr. Conover. I was hoping Grant's call meant no more Kay Thorndyke. It'd be fine to kill these rumors. It would even be finer to kill Kay Thorndyke.
Let's think of this in terms of the country. That's what I've had to do. Frankly, your husband is not exactly a politician's dream.
I wondered why any political party would choose Grant as a candidate, knowing the things he stands for.
I want the country to make that choice, and I know the choice they'll make. Take my word, your husband is a pretty big man.
There's no argument there. I know he's a big man. You know he's a big man. My bad days is when he knows he's a big man. You don't suppose there's any way of Grant being elected president and keeping it a secret from him? Oh, it wasn't funny as all that.
Oh, yes, it was. Your husband asked me almost the same question. He wanted to know if it was possible to be elected without a wife knowing about it.
Poor Grant. Is he speaking in Seattle?
Yes, why?
We were married in Seattle. When I think of him speaking there as a candidate for president...
Oh, no. He's not making speeches as a candidate now. That is a deep, dark secret. The whole idea of this trip is to create the demand.
I see. That clears up something you said before. He's to be your choice first, and then the people's choice.
Well, I am a citizen. I have the right to a choice.
Mr. Loveless's call for you, Mr. Conover.
I'll take it. May I take it here?
Am I in the way?
No, not at all. This will just take a minute. Hello? Yes, how are you? Oh, I'm sorry too, Joe. You should have won that district. Advice? Well, my advice is that you need a whole new campaign this year. How many polls have you got down there? Ooh, that many. Well, tell them not to believe everything they read in the paper. Tell them we love Poland and that we're going to lend them a lot of money. Oh, they don't feel that way. Oh, well then, tell them Poland will not get 1 red cent out of us. The Democrats beat us to that? Well then, promise them something else. They must want something. Just promise them. You swing that district and they're gonna have to give you that veterans hospital. Otherwise, no dice. Okay, call anytime. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
I'm grateful for it. Gave me a chance to change my mind. I'll make this trip with Grant, Mr. Conover.
Well, that is fine. That pleases me very much. That's our first big political contribution. And you, my dear, are the loveliest plank in your husband's platform.
That's a heck of a thing to call a woman. Yet you do say loveliest. Any more words like that, don't repress them.
Oh, you wouldn't fall for some politician's sweet syrup.
Mister, you're looking at a mighty dry waffle.
I don't know. This trip might kill more than one rumor.
Is there somebody I don't know about?
There's been some rumors about you.
About me?
About you and a certain major.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's the best news I've had in weeks. Does Grant know?
Not as far as I know.
Well, you're going to tell him, aren't you?
No.
I deserve something out of all of this. I was hoping he told you.
No, I have my own little intelligence service.
Grant only had the places I dragged that poor nice major just in the hopes that Grant would see us. Well, I'm beginning to feel like a new woman. I think I'll put a new face on the new woman.
And I feel like a new man, and I am going to get the new man a drink. How about it? We even have champagne here.
Oh, don't ever tempt me that way, Mr. Conover. The results can be disastrous.
No.
Has Grant told you that we haven't seen each other in nearly 4 months?
No.
Our last encounter was something to remember. Kay has quite a technique with husbands. Other women's, that is. She's a great builder-upper. Grant was getting the inflation treatment that night, which, by the way, he didn't mind at all. So I inflated myself a little, starting with martinis.
And told her off.
Off and out of my house. I played right into her hands. I acted like a fishwife.
It's the olive and the martinis. That's what does it.
No, things had been simmering for some time. Grant needs a lot of room to stretch out in. He likes to get up on those mountain tops and slap the hurricanes down, and he can do it too. He was beginning to feel that I was small potatoes and holding him back. I was, I guess. I'm a sort of cozy corner person, Mr. Conover. I like those quiet valleys. I'm afraid I even have a weakness for small potatoes. I've got 2 wonderful ones back home.
I've heard. Happy birthday.
There we were, Grant, with a bad case of the mountains, and I became stubborn about small potatoes, and she rode into the picture as the beautiful mountain guide, and now I have no way of knowing how far things have gone.
How do you mean?
Well, there are 3 phases in a man's, whatever you want to call it, to Kay Thorndyke. First, he follows her with his eyes, then with his feet, then on his knees. My trouble is, I don't know whether Grant's in stage 2 or whether the boat has sailed.
Jim, Mary gets in tonight. I got this telegram downstairs.
Hello, Grant.
Mary, didn't expect you until tomorrow.
I couldn't bear to wait.
I'd have met you.
How are you?
Fine. You look fine. Certainly glad you came. Got a lot of things to tell you. You got another room for her yet?
I'm in here with you.
In here.
Mr. Conover, Governor Dunn has just arrived.
Ex-governor. That old windbag couldn't even carry his own county. Where am I going to put him?
He snores.
Yeah, that's an occupational hazard with governors. Grant, I couldn't wait. I told Mrs. Matthews all about it.
Listen, we'll put Gov in the bathtub. When he needs to want to take a leak, he doesn't have to get out of
That's
bed.
a good idea.
I'm awfully glad you came. I said that, didn't I? How are the kids?
Fine. Anxious to see you.
Same here. Well, why don't you laugh? You should.
Why, Grant?
I've just been for a walk. It's a funny thing, Mary, I've been to Washington 1,000 times the last few years. I never really saw it until today. This isn't a city, it's an atmosphere. It's filled with giants. Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Adams. Giants, Mary, I'm not in their league.
I'm for you, Grant. I think you'd make a wonderful president.
You really mean that?
I never meant anything more.
Well, that's the nicest thing you could have said.
It's not just that you have the brains for it. The important thing to me is that you've always tried to be honest.
Tried to be.
Well, you cut a few corners here and there to get where you wanted to go, but I will say that you've always had the decency to be unhappy about it.
Yes, with a little help from you. And don't call me Nappy.
Yes, Snappy.
Want you to know, Mary, I feel a little bit of a heel asking you to make this trip at all under the circumstances. I told Conover, it's entirely up to you, that I wouldn't...
It's all right, Grant. I made the decision myself.
You know, Mary, you deserve something better than me.
I guess I better get out of these things.
I better see Jim about getting me another room.
Haven't you heard even a pool table is booked?
I guess I can find a room in a hotel, all right?
In Washington? Grant. Grant,
Huh?
we should call the kids tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, I'll call them at dinner time, that way I can speak to both of them.
I had Buck pack some of your fishing things.
Really? You're wonderful.
Or maybe in Seattle.
Yes, fine. And maybe run up to Victoria for a few days. Haven't been there since...
Since our honeymoon.
No. That's right.
Which of the plants are we going to first?
Minneapolis.
What are you speaking about there?
I'm not speaking there. That's Stassen territory. Conover thought I might just stir up trouble.
Uh-huh. Good politics, I suppose. What other decisions does Conover make for you?
Now, wait a minute, Mary. I made that decision. I'm making all the decision. I let Conover know exactly where I stand on this. You see, the American people today face too many problems.
Grant,
What?
take it easy. I'm going to vote for you.
No. Wait a minute. I want to straighten you out on this thing, too.
Yes.
May I turning your bed down now, madam?
Yes, indeed, you may.
Yes, and when you want breakfast in the morning, you press this buzzer right there, and I'll be sure to have it brought right up.
Thank you.
I have a pretty tough day tomorrow.
Sorry I was so late with this.
It's all right. I'll help you with it.
It is just coming up, and we get another guest.
Gracious, where did you put him?
He's in a cot in Mr. Conover's room.
Oh, dear, that makes me feel very guilty.
You mustn't worry, Mrs. Matthews. A cot is good enough for most of them. They just come down here to get something out of Mr. Conover.
Why, Nora!
Oh, not this room. This room is for special guests. We even had a Democrat in this bed one night.
I wish you hadn't told me that.
Oh, no, not a Roosevelt Democrat.
Can you leave these as a souvenir?
Oh, how did those get in here? That Miss Thorndike, she handed all over for those.
Miss Thorndike.
Yeah, she forgot them when she left tonight. I know what it's like to be without glasses. I'll mail them right back to her. You wouldn't know where exactly.
Are you sure these are Miss Thorndike's?
Yes. Chinese kind. Oh, Hong Kong glamour woman. What some women won't do, won't they?
Yes, won't they? Mr. Matthews will know the address. Grant, could you come out here a moment? Nora needs some information.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Oh, Miss Thorndike, she left her glasses behind. I just wanted to know where to mail them back to her.
1276 Park Avenue. Do you want me to write it down for you?
Oh, no, I couldn't remember that. 1276. 76 for the revolution. 12 for the 12 commandments. Park Avenue. Good night.
Good night.
How do you suppose those got in here?
Why did she leave? We could all have had a lovely weekend here all together.
Mary, what do you think you're doing? Mary, stop that nonsense. Make up that bed again. Now hang it all, Mary. I won't have you do this. You wouldn't get a wink of sleep down there on the floor. I wouldn't sleep lying up here worrying about you.
Good night, Mr. President.
You mean Mr. Vice President, don't you?
What's so funny?
I just wondered how the floors are at the White House.
Oh, I'll take the floor there. I know my place. Grant, are you still in stage 2, or have you made it into stage 3 now? Never mind. You want a divorce?
Do you?
It's not fair. I asked you first.
The world thinks I'm a very successful man. Rich, influential, happy. You know better, don't you, Mary? You know I'm neither happy nor successful, not as a man, husband, father. Want to know something else? I'm glad I'm down here on the floor. It's where I belong. I knew that tonight when we started to talk about going back to Victoria. Mary, you won't believe me, but I don't know how those glasses got in here. But I'm glad you found them. I started to tell you it was Kay who brought me down here, but I guess I lost my nerve. I thought it would send you home. There are moments in the life of every man when he glimpses the eternal. You read that to me, remember? I've had moments like that, Mary. A couple of them. Moments when the earth and the sky and the plane and me all seemed to fuse together into something that would last forever. I had a moment like that today, Mary. When I was alone with all those great men. They were happy men. You know why? They had a cause to die for. Some of them did. I have no cause, Mary. Beating your competitors? It's no cause to die for. Really not much to live for. Always me first, everybody else second. But way down deep in my gizzard, well, maybe this trip, maybe this whole absurd idea of Conovers. Well, anyway, I'm going to stay on the floor through the whole trip. Maybe when it's over, well, one way or another, things will be clean and honest between us. Right?
Well, you answered one question anyway.
What?
You're still not in stage 3.
How's she taking over in there?
Yeah, she's established in Beachhead.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Spiky, wait, before you leave town, we gotta come.
Oh, Nora, come on.
And you promised.
I promised you
Oh,
not
you
to.
see, you don't keep your word.
What is the convention out there?
My editors, I had them fly in.
But now they'll know everything.
Don't worry, Jim, we are in business.
Public response to my line of guff astounding. If I throw my hat in ring, does my head go with it? Grant Matthews. Well, the bug's beginning to bite, huh?
Oh, you are so right. Now we can really get to work. All my reports on him have been terrific. What have you heard?
Nothing. Goes over with the mob, no doubt about that.
Who told you that?
Well, he was a big hit in the Northwest. Los Angeles was fine too, of course. You know, that's a pushover kind of town. It's the Midwest that
Oh,
really...
I know. Wichita this noon, big labor rally, Detroit tonight, big business banquet, that's it.
Yeah, I got my fingers crossed. If he can get by those two, we are in business.
How do your political friends feel about him?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk with you about. Ed Louderback wants in.
Well,
Wanted to see if you'd stand for Louderback.
I'll stand for anybody if they've got delegates.
Even Bill Hardy?
You are really dragging them out from under the rocks, aren't you?
Well, they're the ones who do the work. They're the hungry ones.
Okay, Jim, Bill Hardy too.
Good.
Send them in.
Good morning, Miss Thorndike.
Good morning. Sorry to have kept you waiting. You know Mr. Conover, our new political consultant.
Of course, Mr.
Gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I wanted to thank you all for the fine job you've been doing. You haven't always followed my instructions, but you have been very lenient, considering that your boss is a woman and still under 60. I've asked you here today because on this matter, at least, there can be no deviation from my instructions. I want the Republican convention deadlocked.
Who are we working for? The Democrats?
You are working for the Thorndike Press, and the Thorndike Press will have its own candidate. That's why the convention must be deadlocked. And it won't be unless all of the leading candidates are so sore at each other they can't come to terms. Is that clear? I want Dewey sword Taft, Taft sword Stassen, Stassen sword Vanderbilt, Vandenberg, and all of them sore at Eisenhower and MacArthur. Use their wives, their kids, their Aunt Marthas, but get them sore. Dig up whatever you can, and if you can't dig it up...
Chief, I've got nothing against your candidate. We all know who it is, and I'll work for him in any way that I legitimately can, but that's as far as I can go.
Mr. Bradbury, would you be happier working for some other newspaper?
Yes, I would.
Fine. Anyone else?
Arrogance of this woman.
On this issue, I am quite prepared to replace all of you.
Miss Thorndike, you're mad.
You're mad at your father. You can accept my resignation right now.
That goes for me, too.
That's exactly the way I feel.
Well, get out. Get out, all of you. Editors like you are a dime a dozen. Yes.
It's for Mr. Conover. Wichita's calling.
Oh, that'd be Brander. I had him fly out to hear Grant. Hello, JB. How are you? What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There must be some mistake. Now, JB, take my word for it. Everything is going to be all right. Let me just wait a minute. He hung up.
What happened?
According to Brander, Grant has blown his top on labor.
Yes.
Mr. McManus from Wichita.
Spike, what happened?
Grant just lost the labor vote.
I sent you along to prevent just that.
I couldn't help it. I tell you, he's gotten away from me.
You are a great campaign manager.
Didn't I ask you last week to coordinate this?
No, and I'll tell you why. I touted him off that labor stuff in Denver. She knew he'd changed his mind, and she started throwing those hard.
You mean his
into him.
wife?
I don't mean his Aunt Tilly. You sent the wrong dame on this trip. That's all.
And I talked him into going along.
What's he talking about in Detroit tonight?
How would I know? I lost my Ouija board.
I told you we couldn't trust this guy, putting in his own words. If he blows his top on business the way he has on labor, well, I will blow mine.
That woman has gotten to him. She's been feeding him that to thine own self be true diet. Jim, you get out to Detroit as fast as you can. Spike, Jim's flying out.
Book Cadillac Hotel.